G'day, welcome to the show. Soul Covers here. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Support you guys, support the channel, costs you nothing, it helps me out a lot. We have 4 bets locked in as of right now, and 3 out of 4 are well ahead of the market, so love to see that. Uh, yeah, go follow me on Twitter if you want to get these bets as I place them. Obviously, May has not been a good month for us. It has not been kind to us whatsoever. We come into these games holding good tickets and they're just not working out for us. Looking back to when we last recorded, we had the Pacers plus 10 in game 2. That was interesting game. Pacers down by 20. End up coming back and winning that game. Tyrese Halliburton he's really been making a name for himself in these playoffs. We also had the Wolves minus 5.5, game 1. Warriors win that one outright. That spread closed at 6.5. That was just really good situational spot for Minnesota that just didn't work out. We were also on Boston minus 9.5, game 2. Boston up by 20 in the third quarter. Boston, best team after a loss this entire season. Spread closes at 10.5. And they just collapsed in the fourth quarter. Is what it is. We were also on the Thunder minus 10.5. That one was about as free of a bet as you can get. And then we were on the under that game. Should have probably just played Nuggets team total under because the Thunder scored almost 150. Like looking at these 5 bets on my screen, like those first 4 sides, I stand behind them every single time. I would place that bet 10 times out of 10 every single time. That under, not a great bet. Happy to admit that it wasn't a good bet, but let's just look forward. Enough looking back. Like I said, we've got 4 bets on the card, and 3 of them are ahead of the market. One of them's had some interesting movement. We'll talk about that as well. Oh, my odds screen is a bit small. Let me just fix that up.
One pair of pants later.
Okay, first game on the card, game 3, Cavs Pacers. Pacers up 2 games to 0. Desperation spot for the Cavs. What did we see this spread open? This spread opened at a pick'em. It is now at -3. So clearly some Cavs action entering the market. I get that. We saw this spread close at around 5.5. So it closed around 5.5 with the entire Cavs lineup out. They've all been marked as questionable, so you see that swing towards the Cavs. Maybe these guys will play. I would expect Mobley to at least play, given the line movement. Garland's interesting. Like, he's been out for so long. There's been reports that it's just not improving. The toe injury is just not improving. I would expect Mobley and Hunter to play. I don't know about Garland, but like I said, looking at the spread, opened at a pick'em, now at Cavs -3, so definitely a Cavs market. Me personally, I'm holding a Cavs -1. Got that down for 3 units. Now, I've got this projected as a pick'em. So why am I betting the Cavs? Well, it's very simple. Like, for me, when I'm betting, I value market, trends, model, opinion. For me, it was very simple. I saw the whole market at 2. I saw a Cavs -1 at Bet365. Threw everything out the window and just picked up a Cavs -1. Now seeing it at 3, we see it at 3.5 here at Bet365. 3.5, 3 seems to be the consensus. Honestly, now at 3, I think it's Pacers or nothing. If you're holding a Cavs -1, you're in a great position. That's what we're holding. But at current numbers, I have to say it's Pacers or nothing. And my plan is that if the Cavs players get ruled in and this goes out to Cavs like -5, Cavs -6. I'm gonna be buying back on the Pacers, trying to open up that middle. Cavs -1, Pacers +5. Like, sign me up for that. You, if you're coming into this with nothing, I would say the value is on the Pacers, but I personally would just wait. Wait for those Cavs players to get ruled in, wait to get a better number on the Pacers, and just go from there. Like, teams in the Cavs spot where they're in game 3 and they've lost the first 2 home games, it's just not good. Like, they are 11 and 11, 11 and 11 against the spread when you have lost your first 2 home games and you're in a game 3. Let me just see if you're a road favorite in game 3. If you're a road favorite, it's 3-3. So just the trends, they're just not really there for Cleveland, but it is a desperation spot. Like, if you're holding Cavs -1, great. Otherwise, now the value is on the Pacers. Looking at the total, where we have seen some very, very interesting movement. So this total opened at 229.5. Me personally, there were a few 228.5s in the market as well. I picked up an over 228.5. We see this total like start to climb a bit. We see some 230s pop up. From there, it goes crashing down, just plummets. It gets as low as 224.5. From there, people start getting in some buyback action, some middle action. Now we see it at 227, and yeah, from my view, looking at this market, it appears that maybe some sharp groups knocked the number back a little bit just to put more money down on an over on a better number, 224.5. So, me personally, I'm holding a bad ticket. You coming into this with nothing, I would play the over 227. I think that might be. Maybe there's some 226s available. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, I reckon, yeah, there's definitely some 226.5s available, so I would go ahead and grab one. Interesting, in this spot where a road team is coming into game 3 and they have lost the first 2 games, the over is 16-6. That's 73% to the over. Trying to frame this in like a basketball angle, I would say that, look, the home team, the Pacers, they're sitting pretty sweet. They're playing with house money. They don't need to come in this game and play like elite defense. Like, yes, obviously that they want to win, but are they looking to clamp down the Cavs? I don't know. That's the way I see this 20-game trend from like a basketball perspective. Like, the Pacers, they are a good defensive team. They've been a good defensive team in 2025, but the pace has just been up in this series. Like, it's been around 100 pace, which is slightly above league average in the regular season. We've seen the pace drop around 5% on average in the playoffs. However, the pace in this series is unchanged. So we got this total projected at 233 and 233. So I'm on the over. I still like the over despite the bit of wacky line movement. So the current numbers, it has to be Pacers and over. But I'm holding a Cavs -1. And if you're still tailing me, even though the results haven't been there, keep an eye out. Try and grab the Pacers +5. Keep an eye on my Twitter, because that's something that I will be looking at. Next, we have the Thunder and the Nuggets. God, we're having some technical difficulties today.
One pair of pants later.
Okay, Thunder and Nuggets. Thunder coming off a big win against the Nuggets. Nuggets did look a little bit gassed. They kind of pulled a Golden State and just threw that game. Obviously, the Thunder, they really wanted to win that. So now we have a game 3 in Denver. Still only 1 day's rest. So Nuggets, this is the 6th game in 12 days. So And like these are playoff games. Like they've been playing every other day against the Clippers, and yeah, have the Thunder like flip the switch? I think so. Like we got this projected at Thunder -7.5. So me personally, I'm holding a Thunder -4.5. Got that down for 3 units. Now seeing the entire market around here, we've got a -5 that's juiced towards the Thunder. We see some 5.5s popping up. We see 5.5 at Bookmaker. So clearly the early market is telling you Thunder. Will we see some late Nuggets action? I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see some late Nuggets action. Now, looking at the spot here where we've got two teams, Nuggets and Thunder, where the Thunder here, they're a road favorite. They are clearly power rated a lot higher than the Nuggets. Looking at this spot where it's game 3, series is tied 1-1, and there is a road favorite.
One pair of pants later.
Okay, so this is a trend I really like. As I was saying earlier, you got two teams, Nuggets, Thunder. Thunder are the road favorites, so they are clearly power rated a lot higher than the Nuggets. Fair enough. We know that. Series is tied 1-1. Thunder do need to get this game, do need to get home court back as soon as possible. In game 3, where it's a road favorite, teams tied 1-1. The road favorite, 34-18 against the spread, 65%. If we slice this down to make them a 4-point road favorite or more, so clearly more than just the home court, 14-2 against the spread. So just like, how can you go against that? I'm certainly not jumping in front of this Thunder train. If this is a blowout, I will be looking at getting back in on the Nuggets on game 4. I respect the Nuggets. Like they've done really well. They beat my Clippers. They just destroyed my Clippers in game 7. How can I not respect them? But this is just not the spot. Looking at the total, we see it open at 234, now at 232.5. So clearly a bit of under action entering the market. If we look at this spot, so again, road favorite, teams tied 2-2. Not much there in terms of trends going over or under. We see it's around 54% to the under, over 50 games. I personally just can't get there with the under. These teams have been playing at a 105 pace, I think. Like, I was talking before about the Cavs paces. They've been playing at a really fast pace. Or they've been playing at a really fast pace relative to the playoffs. Looking at Denver and OKC, yeah, 104.5 pace. That's around 5% above regular season averages. That's around 10% above postseason averages. So understand that. We see two top five-ish pace teams. I just can't get there with the under. Maybe I'll even try getting on a late over if this continues to go down. In terms of current numbers, this OKC -5 is not a bad bet. Are there some 5s -110 though? Always make sure you shop around for the best line. We see, yep, FanDuel -5, -110. That is something you can go grab right now. So we will also look at Celtics Knicks game 3, where we see this spread opened at 4.5, 5. Obviously another desperation spot, and we know that the trends here that they don't really favor Boston. But if you've been watching this show a lot, you know we love to back Boston after a loss. We were on them in game 2. Guess what? We are on them again in game 3. I'm gonna go out swinging back in this Celtics team. I don't care. My numbers don't agree. I've got this at Celtics -1.5, so I'm holding a Celtics -5. I just like this Celtics team. Like, I'm just pulling up right now. How have they performed over the last 3 years when they have lost 2 straight games? I know this year they're 2-0 against the spread. My first ever max bet was on the Boston Celtics. against the Denver Nuggets around middle of the season. That was an easy cash. That was a lot of CLV on that one, betting a -2 that closed at -6. Celtics, since over the last 2 seasons, 6-0 against the spread after 2 straight losses. So, I mean, it's not the biggest sample size, I understand, but I can't see it. There's going to be a bit of pressure on the Knicks here. Like, that Madison Square Garden crowd is just gonna be rocking. But yeah, look, we're on Boston -5. Is there a Boston -5 still in the market? I know 5.5 is the consensus. We do not see a 5, so 5.5 starting to push it. It's up to you whether you want to take that. 5 is a very important number to have on your side. One of the most common outcomes in NBA games, so I'm glad that I got the 5 as a push number in terms of what you can do. You know, Celtics first half would have cashed the last 2 games, game 1 and game 2. Maybe it's better to just go on Celtics first half. We're going to go on Celtics full game. In terms of the playoffs as well, Celtics in the playoffs over the last 2 seasons, I bet they've got a great record against the spread after a loss. We are pulling that up right now, and what is it? 1 second. Looking at the total, we did see it open at 205, 206.5. So we have seen some under action enter the market. For me personally, it's just starting to get a bit too low. The real sharp moves are playing the under in game 1 and game 2. Now the market has caught on that this is going to be a slow-paced series. In terms of the pace of this series, it's around 92. So that is very low. That's like lower than the playoff average. Having a bit of trouble pulling up Celtics ATS after a loss in the playoffs. We know it's good, so I'm backing Boston. It's up to you whether you want to back them now at 5.5. Total, don't have anything on. I think it's very well priced. So let's get on to Wolves Warriors. Now these numbers on my screen, they do account for no Steph Curry. Generally, I don't fix what's on screen without the player, but in this case I have. So we see this spread open at 5. It is more or less still there at 5. We see Bookmaker at a juiced 5 to the Wolves. I personally don't have any bets on this game as of right now. My numbers have it at Wolves -2 even without Steph Curry. So yeah, I can't get there with the Wolves on this game. I would not mind an under, but the early market movement is over. We saw this open at around 200 at most spots. Now at 201.5. Let me just pull that up on my screen. So I can't quite get there on side or total this game. We'll wait to see what the market says. Yeah. Wait to see what the market says. Here we see a juiced 5 as well, so a bit of early Wolves action, but we are going to wait this one out. So, best bets that we have at the moment, not this. Yeah, here we go. Let me pull down the odds. So, 4 bets on today, or 4 bets over the next 2 days. We have the Cavs -1 and the over. At current numbers, I'd say it's Pacers or nothing, now at 3.5. The over has dipped a little bit, but I still like it. We've seen a bit of market setup action going on with this total, so I do like the over at 227. I'm holding a bad ticket, but that's okay. We're also on the Thunder -4.5. Go pick up a 5 right now. I expect this to close 5.5, 6. We're already seeing 5.5s pop up right now. And we're also on Boston -5. That's right, we are back on Boston. I do not care. Boston after a loss. Life, death, taxes, Boston after a loss. Until next time, let's get them look salty.